Are you ready? Are you are you ready?
Welcome to the show. I totally got lost in the sauce there for a moment. All right. Welcome to the Empowering You Show. We are so happy you are here. It is the first show with a guest of 2023, and we're super excited. But before we talk about our guest, let me bring to the platform the sensationally smooth, always sassy Shani Smith. Are you ready? Well, it appears we might be having slight technical difficulties. In the meantime and in between time, I know that we are excited at BHS and Associates, excited because the Empowering You Show is all about showcasing small business owners, people who might not always get an opportunity to talk about what they do, what they have, and what they bring to the marketplace or the table. But we have an opportunity and an obligation to help business owners succeed. And that's exactly what we do on the Empowering You Show. So what's been happening? What's happened in the past is we've had phenomenal guests show up here and gain access to our audience. Our audience is on Pod TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, YouTube, Facebook, and beyond. 200 countries get to see our show every week. And every week we bring it. We bring the guests to you with information, education, and entertainment. And so I hope and pray that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you have not, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's on a bit.ly link, lowercase bit.ly/lowercase BHS, and YouTube the way YouTube spells it, YOUTUB. It is amazing to have this platform to share with our business owners. Yes. So what is going on? Let me answer the phone and see if this is somebody I need to talk to. Hello? Not. Yeah. So on the show, we have a guest today that is phenomenal. Our first guest of 2023 is a senior level manager, advisor, thought leader, advocate with a passion for social service and criminal justice reform. Currently, she manages and oversees several, there she is, grant programs in the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. Before her current position, she supervised the pre-award planning, development analysis, and oversight of grants and guidelines for community policing grant programs in the Grants Administration of the Department of Justice. Before her stint in Washington, she served in the South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice, managing the Serious and Violent Reentry Initiative. She supervised juvenile parole and probation staff, administered statewide training, and served as liaison between the director's office and all institutional and community staff in charge of implementing state and federal juvenile justice mandates. Her experience in criminal justice and social service includes developing statewide gang intervention initiatives and helping lead the statewide teen after-school programs. She's academically prepared, by the way, with a bachelor's degree in religious studies from the University of South Carolina and master's of arts degrees in management and human resource development, and a doctorate in public service leadership with an emphasis on criminal justice. She focuses in on successful juvenile reintegration. Help me welcome to the show, Dr. Taneen Bradford. Woo woo! And before Dr. Taneen comes up, let's talk to Shani for a moment.
You know, it makes sense. Hello, everyone. At first, it makes sense that we're going to start the year off talking about how we can better serve our communities as we flow into Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. And talking about a day of service, it's important that we focus this month particularly on how people can help. You think that we're not just talking about someone who is incarcerated. We're talking about the families. We're talking about how it impacts the children. We're talking about how it impacts our communities. And the lovely Dr. Taneen Bradford is our first guest because of all that she does for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to also say, before we let Dr. Taneen loose, we want to also let you know that this entire month is Restart and Renew. People who have either been incarcerated or work in the criminal justice system will be on this platform for the rest of the month so that you can get to know and hear from what initiatives from the inside out are going on in our communities and help those who may be needing to re-enter into the community, because recidivism is real. Did I say that right? Recidivism is real. People going back, returning like a revolving door back to jail because they're not afforded the resources or they're unaware of the resources available to them. So having said all of that, the lovely, talented, educated, sister among sisters, Dr. Taneen Bradford. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. I love to see this excellence. I'm glad to be invited to share my perspective, my story, in hopes of inspiring others, creating a synergy and taking things next level so we can improve our communities, make a difference. When one is changed, family change, a generational curse is broken, magnificent and wonderful things can continue to happen. So thanks for having me. Love to share this time with you and looking forward to many more.
Cool. So Shani, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I feel like I want to dig right in. How did what moved you? Because this takes a certain type of passion.
Oh yeah.
Is it from personal experience or, what moved you to take this route?
Oh, definitely personal. I think, I found that as I come into this space more and more, we found our healing in this work.
Yeah.
The little girl still is in there, working through challenges, responding to risk, trauma, hurt, harm. I didn't come with a silver spoon in my mouth. I did have, resources that others, only wish they could have in some sense, but that came with some brokenness in childhood. That came with a mix of religious perspectives, socioeconomic challenges, a parent who was the oldest from a 15-year-old without a father, in the home, having experienced being incarcerated, betted against, etc. Second marriage, all of that came with its ups and downs. And I found myself the oldest of a second marriage, having to lead, give up childhood, experience some abuses vicariously, and pushed into the space of trying to heal and help while I'm trying to figure things out, even as a child. And so as I continued to grow, I always felt connected when I was helping. Wow. In making a difference and inspiring. And let's not, forget the church. While my parents were figuring out their religious faith, my mother wasn't figuring out that I needed to be in church every Sunday, sometimes Wednesdays, Bible studies.
But it gave you something to hold on to.
Yeah. Definitely foundationally. And I'd sing, whether I was leading or just hanging out with the choir. I started to feel like I was contributing, and I saw people heal and have a moment of happiness. And that just continued to stay with me into this work.
That's so good. The underlying theme of most people's lives is they end up in careers or in passions or in businesses that they themselves had to heal through, go through, or feel their way through to get to the passion that they have. We all know that we have been gifted. We come here with a gift and a passion. It's our job to figure out what it is. And most of the time, well, some of the time, I won't say most of the time, some of the time, it takes us going through a thing for us to get to a thing that we're supposed to be doing.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Character and grit. Yes.
So what was it that when you were a little girl that you always wanted to be?
Oh, wow. So it's two things. A famous singer.
Right now.
And you can't tell me that I'm not Beyonce in the shower right now.
Not Beyonce. I love it.
Notice I said in the shower, you got to dust that thing off. But as I started getting into spaces in particular, I really have a few transformational moments in my life. But as I was helping my sisters and brothers grow up as the oldest daughter in the household, I decided I wanted to be a lifeguard. And in South Carolina, where I grew up, in the space that we were in, taking swim lessons and doing, day camp, et cetera, my mother trying to make sure that we were not in the streets. I noticed that there weren't any Black girls, teenagers, lifeguarding. And
we want to mess our hair up.
Yeah. And of course, though, there were Black male lifeguards. And I was at that age that I was looking at them and wanted to be in their space and be cute. And so I decided I wanted to be a lifeguard, which was great because the area was predominantly Black and they were looking to fill a space with a Black face. And so I got into that, was going to do the class. It was 14 going on 15. And
pause break.
Yeah,
First of all, there's a majority of Black people that don't know how to swim. Right? Precisely. I'm not one of them. I love swimming and I can swim. But to go that step further and want to be a lifeguard, was it you was just trying to be cute, or you really was wanting to try to save some people's lives? Inquiring minds want to know.
Cute. and a propensity to save, right? So there's something about being the oldest. Yeah. And being raised to take care of your siblings, and be there for them. My mother and father instilled that I had to lead from the front. And interestingly, right? Lead from the front. Take it on. Your sister and brothers are they're in swim lessons. You need to be in swim lessons. They're looking at you. You need to be ready to make a difference for them. So part of it was, maturity wasn't there, but there was something subtly in there saying, get in there, represent, and be cute. You realize it's not much cuteness once you hit that water.
Especially if you're 5 feet and you jump into 6 feet.
Exactly. And on top of that, everybody else could swim better. So let me fast forward to the moment where I knew that I wanted to make a difference. So I'm in the class. I thought I wanted to be cute. I thought I wanted to be a lifeguard and sit there in that chair. And then you realize when you're in the class, 14 years old, going on 15, this is much more than that. But everybody's swimming past me, right? I've got this childlike confidence that's suddenly going away because everybody can swim faster than me. I started learning how to swim at 13. They're going to throw me in the lifeguarding class. And I am thinking, I can't do this. You got to swim 100 yards in 10 minutes. And everybody's jumping out the pool. They're smaller than me. I've always been, on the plus side, on the plus side, and I am losing. My mother gets on the side of the pool. I jump out. She says, "You only have 10 minutes." I said, "I can't do this." She said, "Get back in the pool. You're a winner. You're not just doing this for you. You got other kids out here looking at you. They're counting on you." And I felt the hair in a good way on the back of my neck stand up, and I felt empowered, and I jumped in that water. And I knew when I finished that class, probably 9 minutes and 58 seconds I passed, that there was something bigger for me to do. And I was inspired by that. And I knew whatever I wanted to do was going to be making a difference. And challenging those people who think that they can't do it to do it.
Yeah, that's so good. That is so good. Shani.
I feel like I heard your mama say it too. Like when you were telling that story. I'm just saying. I got a question for you, and it's a little bit off topic, but it's been killing me. What is credible messengers? What is that?
It's a new way of saying folks who have been through it. Folks that have done time, folks who've been in the foster care system, folks who've experienced addiction. When they come into the space, they can tell you something about their story that I can't tell you, you can't tell them. They've overcome. There's something about successful overcoming. And now the young people are giving it new names, respectable names. We're not X anything. We're showing up in spaces. We're credible in our messaging because we've been there. We've got a testimony. And so that's what we use in the space now, on the human service space.
And say it again, credible messengers.
Credible messengers.
Because success leaves clues.
Yeah.
And so having been there and done that, there's no superhuman people in the world. There is just ordinary people doing super fabulous things. And so if somebody's done it, anybody can do it. It's humanly possible. And so I love the fact that you're in spaces and places where people have come out of incarceration and are being very successful. They've come out of drug addiction and being very successful. And those are the stories that we're going to be showcasing this month on the platform. So thank you again, Dr. Tanine, for showing up here today. I love the fact that you took what you thought was superfluous, something that was superficial, something that was on the surface, and God touched it in you in a place that let you know, this ain't about you, boo. This is bigger than you.
Yes.
And until we get to that place, that place of service, because genuinely, it took me a long time to figure out that I'm not here for me, that everything I go through, grow through, and navigate through is for someone else to learn from it. For me to retain the lesson, but to explain the lesson for someone else. And so what lessons have you learned that you now share with other people?
Grace extended is grace received.
Ooh.
Hold on, can I write that down real quick?
Yes, please.
No, I'll just check out the replay.
I'm going to need you to have that in our repertoire of things to do. Grace extended is grace received. Now, I think I know what it means. Explain that a little more deeply.
I'm telling you, as I've evolved, I've always been in a space where, family members, "Oh, you're the goody two shoe, mother mentored, father mentored me. You're the one that's gonna, make it. You got, the machinations to go further in your career, whatever you choose to do. And then you get to knowing you're human and broken. All those things you just said you never would do. You judge people. Oh, those folks are, they don't get it.
Yeah. And
then you do it, or then you say it, or then you have a moment of acting up. Your moments of imperfection start showing up.
Yeah.
And you turn resentment into forgiveness if you're just going to move forward, if you're going to breathe. And then you get in a space of reintegration and reentry where you're meeting people who have done harmful things, but that's not who they are.
Right. Because hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people. When I started doing this work on reentry, there was a time I was very isolated, very alone, young in the space, doing systems reform work. You're often innovating and you're by yourself. You're talking about changing people's lives.
Yeah.
When you think about reducing numbers of folks or kids or adults in secure confinement, right? That people make money off of.
Oh, yeah.
Off of, right?
We could do a whole show on people making money off a whole show.
Exactly. And so, you know, I was really isolated in my dream to reduce the numbers in South Carolina from 1,000 to none. And it started to happen, and you know, folks that feel threatened, and some of the very people that I was working with, some even incarcerated at the time, we called it behind the fence. I was doing some adult consulting. They started praying for me, and they started talking to me, sending letters of encouragement. No expectations of anything other than,
wow,
you see me. Thank you for coming to speak. Thank you for treating me as human. I did some horrific things I might not ever see outside of this fence, but I appreciate you. And that started to resonate with me, that people just want to repair harm and they want to be seen as human and they want grace. And then I started screwing up and started seeing, I've been screwing up. I just didn't know I was. I didn't know that, you know, that there was work beyond the work, the validation that comes with that. Oh, you did good today. Sometimes you do not so good. And I thought, I need that same grace. I want people to see beyond my mistakes. I want them to feel the love of God and how he wraps us no matter how ugly we are and the things that we do. When I want to cuss somebody out and I'm behind them in traffic and they've done something horrendous, I say, grace extended is grace received.
Ooh, that's so good. Grace extended is grace received. I see some folk out there that I want to shout out. Inspired. I know who that is. That's an incognito name for somebody I know and love. Moving past survive to overcoming, she quoted. And notice I said she because I know who it is. Learn the lesson or be the lesson. Learn the lesson or be the lesson from which others will learn. Yes.
Right.
And she is loving this conversation. Our other #1 Amazon best-selling international author, one of the 9 is out there, Carla A. Murphy. She says she loved the statement, lead from the front and take it on. Thank you, Dr. Bradford. And then, of course, our producer is in the back shouting out us, saying this is a powerful presentation. Thanks so much, Mark. We appreciate you being out there. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that and hit the notification bell so you can hear these more powerful conversations coming from the front. I love it. Shani.
The leader. And so Dr. Bradford, for the people who want to just take the first step, how do they get started? If they're on the outside, they're not in the Department of Justice, or they are, you know, they just don't know what to do. What do you suggest? Should we go to schools? Should we make an Instagram post? What do you think?
I think there's several ways. I love the information age. You know, Google is my friend. So that's a start. I think folks feel overwhelmed sometimes when they think about places like U.S. Department of Justice. You know, when I meet people and they say, "Oh, who are you? You work for what?" You know, but there's
it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. Let's pause for a minute.
It's exciting. But those who get past, you know, what I call the frontline superficial, there's so much information out there. Yeah. So I would go to the OJP DOJ website. You just throw it in Google. Look at all those things, those search engines. You could put, you know, Office of Justice programs and put in reentry. You could put Office of Justice programs, victim services. You can do that pretty quickly and go to a whole host of resources. There is folks like Glenn Martin that are out there who is a credible messenger if you want to start thinking about grassroots work to do. I was sharing earlier with Shani. I met not too long ago a Dr. Adrian Carter who we believe is a credible messenger author that is suited to help people with grassroots work. I'm going to throw one of my friends out there who's a transformational leader for JJ in Rhode Island. He leads and directs the juvenile justice system there. I could go on and on and on and plan to do some follow-up in terms of listing. His name is Dr. Larome Marek. You can just Google him.
Yeah, because we want to tag this post, this show, and tag these people because we want them. We want to hear from them. We want to know who we can contact when we have people that are incarcerated coming out and need some services, resources, or people to contact, because the information is out there, but they don't always know that it's there. We want to be a conduit to get it there. One of the things I want to pause for a moment is, because I used to work for the Department of Defense, DOD, military and Department of Defense and just the government in general got all them acronyms, ABC, Element P, JJ, DOJ. You, for the common folk, before you start going JJ, I said, what is? I'm back here. I ain't heard the rest of this conversation because I'm back here, JJ, and then you said juvenile justice. Okay, so I'm going to say this as a blanket statement to all the folks that work in the government. Give us the full name and then go ahead and do your acronyms, because I'm back here A B C D E H I J K J J Element of P. Just saying.
Oh, you are so my tribe, Barbara. Oh my goodness. So the Office of Justice Programs Policy Grant Making Offices under the U.S. Department of Justice.
Okay.
I actually work for the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention in my daytime job. That has afforded me the opportunity to work with incredible folks and touch folks in monumental ways. So if you have a chance, type in Office of Justice Programs. I work for Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, but there's a whole host of offices that fund, do research, that provide connections to fundings. There are advocacy groups. I'll throw one out there on Buntu Village in Louisiana. Dr. Ernest Johnson is an advocate, completely outside of the space of governance, but been in the space of helping folks with lived experience work to get resources. So if you want to start talking about how do I just get in, he's a great person. I have friends, some in the Hampton area, who just started looking at ways to join commissions, right? There are ways to just volunteer your services. And when you just do that, you put your name in the hat, it exposes you to so many other opportunities. Volunteer, get involved. Those things are so important. Take on, building your platform right on LinkedIn. Right. You know, that's another great way. You may not start where you think it can be intimidating because you don't have doctor in front of your name, but it's amazing the people that I meet in this space who are making a difference and doing incredible things from right where they are. And where you are matters, right? Wherever you are.
Yeah. How do we get in touch with you if we want to reach out?
I am at tpb7373 at Gmail as an email account. My phone number.
Now I'm going to ask you to do that military. T as in tango.
T as in tango. P as in Paul. B as in boy. 7373. At Gmail. My phone number is 803-309-2456. And you can reach me on LinkedIn and we'll drop that in as well. At any point, just send me a message and I'll figure out how to respond to you.
What's the telephone number again?
803-309-2456.
I got that for personal reasons. I'm sorry.
Yes. I have a question for you. How old was your youngest juvenile offender?
10. South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice. 10.
How do you even begin to deal with that? You know, just from the emotional side, just as an adult, knowing that this is a child, somebody's baby, still a baby.
Treat kids as kids.
Yeah.
You know how many mistakes we've made that hadn't caught up with us?
Woo!
Things we've done.
Thank God there was none of this. Okay.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You say treat kids as kids. I hate to beat a dead horse, but how do you treat a kid as a kid when they're 6 years old and they shoot a teacher?
You make sure that you focus on the risk and the triggers and whatever was associated with that separately than who they are as a child.
Yeah, because
all things can be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All things can be true. We can do a horrible thing and still be a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I can be a Dr. Bradford with a wonderful gifts, and you work from that space. And there's a lot of people who know how to do that grassroots, and I trust them in their space.
Because I just cringe. I felt so heartbroken for this child, for this parent, for the teacher, for the students that witnessed it.
Yes.
Because now they're all traumatized.
Yes.
And I don't want to get on that subject because that could take us down a whole nother rabbit hole, but it broke my heart so in two, as if it was my own 6-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very, very much so here in my heart. And we have to comb through those emotions and sit in it, right? There's harm that's been done. There's trauma that has occurred. There's reconciliation that needs to happen. And yet we have a charge to make sure that child has every opportunity to succeed. Got all these other years to go. And we got to figure out how to help repair that harm and still invest in him, those other youth, right? That teacher, those parents. There's work to be done. And it starts now.
A whole lot. Yes.
Now, is it your job to make sure that everybody gets what they need, or,
yeah, and
left out?
In many sense, from the lens that I sit and the position that I have the pleasure of working with state leaders that are in receipt of funding that can work on any part of the system. There's obviously places in our offices that specialize. So I have peers who have training and technical assistance dollars, issue grant funding to community-based state, local organizations that may specialize in community-based alternatives, for example, or a specific second chance money for reentry services. Under my umbrella, we oversee protections for youth at any point that touch the system and disperse funding to all the states who want to be in receipt of the funding so that they protect youth that touch the system, as well as work on a number of reform efforts. And so in that, I'm able to touch every kind of aspect of the work. It is the most unique position that I've been in, to be able to touch every aspect of the juvenile justice system and help folks through every part of that through incredible staff, partners, training and technical assistance providers, experts, SMEs, etc., to make a difference, to focus on this, right? Restorative practices. They'll need that.
Restorative practices.
Use.
You have so much information that we got to have you come back. I want to say that this has been a phenomenal time, but we're going to get ready to close out of here with a couple of service announcements. Thank you so much, Dr. Taneen Bradford. Give us your website once again where we can reach out to you.
The email, I don't have a website yet, but okay. Barbara, you're challenging me, so I'm going to get that together.
We'll talk about that.
Yes. T as in Tom, P as in Paul, B as in boy, 7373 @gmail.com. Okay. You can email me there.
Yes. And the phone number again is?
803-309-2456.
I got that on lock. Shani, what we got going on?
It has been a pleasure. I just want to say again, and I'm going to be using credible messengers moving forward because I love that.
I do too.
It's so important to be able to voice what you have going on. We all have a gift, and it's so important to be able to share that gift. So many of us are holding on to it. If you have a story, and it's not even if, because we all do.
All of us.
You need to be able to share your story, leave your mark. Don't know how to do it. We can help you do that.
Yeah, we can. Tonight
at 6 p.m. bit.ly/C in celebrity, capital S in speaker. bit.ly/celebrity speaker. come on tonight, hear about how to craft your story so that people are engaged. People want to know what you have. You want to be a credible messenger? You got to learn how to tell your story. I'm just saying.
I love it. Use it in a sentence. I got you, Shani. We are so excited about what's going on in the BHS and Associates organization tonight. You don't want to miss the Celebrity Speaker Training Program unveil tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are in the area, please, if you have a space on your calendar, please check us out. bit.ly/celebrity speaker, capital C, capital S, the rest is lowercase. We also have a new anthology. The last anthology was a tremendous blessing to so many people. If you have not seen Empowering You, It's Your Time, check it out on Amazon. The reviews are through the roof. And I want to tell you, I am so honored and proud to be the visionary author with these tremendous #1 Amazon best-selling international authors. Yes, I said it. #1 Amazon best-selling authors. Best-selling international authors. This newest project, Volume 2, is empowering you, let go of the past and step into your greatness, because all of us have greatness inside of us. And we are giving you an opportunity to learn more about that process in writing your own book in the process. So check us out, I'm old school, BarbaraHSmith.com. Just go to BarbaraHSmith.com and get the information you need to have about the upcoming anthology, as well as our latest anthology, Empowering You, It's Your Time. Close us out, Shani.
You know what time it is. It's time for you to step into your greatness, because what?
The world is waiting for you.
It's waiting.
That's our time. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Listen, if you don't know by now what time it is, you better get on it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Inspired, Carlay Murphy, Mark Lee. Mark Lee, take us out of here.
Today, he has a sense of humor. I'm just saying.
He's doing some stuff back there. I don't know.
Yes. What an impact, though. What an impact, Dr. Bradford. Like, I just want to know how you even how you don't get so caught up, you know? We all have a little bit of empath personalities in us, and and how do you not go to sleep with that and still be able to move forward?
Praying a good therapist. I see mine every week.
Yeah. So I guess we're still on the show. So let's be live.
Let's go.
It's amazing to me but you do have resources, you yourself, to unwind and decompress.